welcome to another episode of How You Really Feel.
How do you really feel?
Because we got opinions.
How did you feel?
Period.
I'm Kanisha.
I'm Jeffrey.
Tiana.
Thank you for watching another episode of How You Really Feel, our podcast. We're here to just engage with you with our social media and with the current events that are happening and stuff. We like to watch reality television. We like to be on Instagram. We like to be on TikTok, and we like to be on Facebook. And so we're here to share with you our opinions on today's biggest stories. So without further ado, Tiana's going to get herself situated, and we're going to begin.
Subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe.
So this is the part where we start to point to the link, y'all, like that. Yeah. Keep pointing. Keep pointing. Keep pointing. There you go.
Keep pointing.
Just scoot yourself up. Scoot up, boo-boo.
So, last episode we were talking about several reality shows. One of them that wrapped, and actually two that wrapped. One is Love is Blind and Traitors.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass the mic to Tiana so that she can lead us into Traitors.
Okay, Traitors. That was really, really, really good. I love Phaedra. I will forever love Phaedra.
Okay.
I always was a fan, but then
Right.
seeing her in a different element and still being herself, I was like, Team Phaedra.
Yeah. I was pissed off whenever everything that happened to her, whenever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was
Zerby
rooting for her the entire freaking time.
And everybody else was too, because you could tell, with all the questions in the reunion, they were all geared to Phaedra.
Right.
The host kept saying, "So Phaedra, how'd you feel about?" And Phaedra this and I was like, so clearly Phaedra was the fan favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep talking, Tiana. Tell us more about what you thought.
So, what did y'all think about on the reunion? Phaedra not forgiving Dan for
I
what
loved
he
it.
done.
Me too. Okay.
Loved it.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't. I would never. I never say never.
No, because that was so soon in the show. It wasn't like it was down 6 or 7 weeks. It was immediately he was trying to get rid of her. My favorite motherfucking part though was, bitch, I am not on The Bachelor. I don't have to
Kiss
beat
your ass
to
for a rose.
bitch.
And I love that he brought a rose to the reunion. That's how you come back,
Yeah.
and
Right.
make things smooth
Right.
and make a cute situation out of
Right,
it. Because he
exactly.
could have been like Dan, just oh, well, will you forgive me? But instead he's just oh, let me play off.
But was Dan
Right.
really will you forgive me? I felt like Dan was being an asshole and kept saying well, this is a game. So with most games that I
Get
play,
over it.
you get
Yeah.
over it after it's over. And we're all friends. And Phaedra was sitting there
But I think that people
No.
do get over it, like you're saying, when what's his name came with the rose, right?
Yeah.
He was getting over it because it was a game. But for a traitor to try to trade to get her out immediately,
that bothered me.
that was a whole thing. And it wasn't as if, I think that for me, it's always, I do look at color and I do look at race as a whole thing. And I will say that he wasn't going to do it to the other girl. And I'm not a person who immediately
But
jumps
it
and say,
did seem strange
I don't-
that he wouldn't
right.
do it to
And
the
I don't
other
think
girl.
anybody on this panel is a person. We have friends, and I'm not that person to say, girl, I got a lot of white friends. No, I have mentors. We have mentors that are white people. We have family members that are Caucasian. So it's not like that. But
No.
I know how it feels, and I know what it looks like. Do you know
And
what I'm saying?
that's what it looked like.
And so if it had been further down the road, okay.
Then it would have made sense.
Right, but then you
Yeah.
immediately tried. What's her name? Peach. What's her name?
Poverty.
Right, Poverty. You didn't do it to Poverty, and Poverty was like, "Oh, good, I'm on your team. I'm on your team."
Well, and he did a switch up because the whole reason why they recruited Poverty was to give her to the wolves. So that was something they discussed when the night that they were setting to recruit her.
Right.
They had said, perfect. She's going to be the first one that we put forward if we have to put forward.
Right.
And then he goes and have
And
private
immediately puts
conversations
with Poverty.
With Poverty. So then I started looking at Dan oh, get the black girl out.
Right.
Because she's too likable. And I was like, that's not cool, because now I'm starting to feel like it's racial. Even if it's not racial, I'm
Yeah.
feeling that.
Because-
I was like, why they going up against the black girl when you already had an alliance with the black girl?
Yeah, and this is a good segue for me. Just on this point, is my palms are touching each other. I'm thanking God that Fannie Willis gets to stay on this case. And I just hate the way that they did her as a black woman who is standing up for herself, who was not on trial. And I hate what the judge said to her and all the ridicule that was given to her as a black woman. And I don't think they would do it if it was the other way around. But anyway, back to our story.
Well, you can't slide that in there and then be like, back to our story.
Right. This is how you don't let nobody else get their opinion.
Look, first of all, we got opinions. And
Okay, I want to hear. So then-
let's finish talking about Traitors,
Okay,
and then we'll go
that's
into
fine.
Fanny because
I just had to get onto that one, girl.
Go ahead.
Who do y'all think had the best outfit on for the reunion of Traitors?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't MJ. I'll say that much. Oh, I was like, MJ, no.
Okay.
But MJ was so, like, she was still bitter. Like,
She was.
her butt was so hurt. I was like, now that was one person where I was like, yeah, sis, let it go.
I
At
felt
that point.
differently. I felt like she should have been holding on to
that
it
grudge.
because she was like this close, and she was like, "You guys all knew that I was a faithful." She just felt like CT was the one who was like being shady and being greedy and trying to cover
He
it up.
was.
And I think
Yeah,
it's
he
important
was.
to put people on blast because don't try to
Mm-hmm.
act like the good guy in this situation. He was the bad guy. Own
Yeah.
it, just
Yeah.
like Johnny Bananas took
Right.
the money from the girl in the challenge that one time. So it's like, own it. You know, it's like everybody wants to be America's sweetheart, but like, you know, you did her dirty. You
Right.
knew she was a faithful and you wanted more money.
Yeah,
And I
because
get
it's
it.
easier to split in half than
Right.
three ways.
Three
you,
ways.
you got a baby on the way, and so you were like, "Hey, I'm here with my friend. Let me split it with my friend instead
Okay.
of splitting it 3 ways." So I would have been bitter. I would have showed up just like MJ. I probably would have been worse. They would have had to carry me off the stage. I'd have been like, "Now you know, and don't be sitting here." They would have been like, "Man, please sit down," because there's money involved, and you sit like
Yeah.
it looked like she needed it. Now I don't know if maybe she just gave that impression off, and maybe she did.
Yeah.
But like that's what it seemed like. Like it was really important. I don't know what she had planned for it, but it
Girl,
seemed like it was
please.
really important.
Shoot,
That's
she
the-
had life plans.
Okay, but that's a little bit of chump change for their asses.
Well, and that's what I kept saying. So here's the thing. I've been watching the UK Traitors. And
Do you like the different versions of the Traitors? I was watching the
do.
one from Down Under.
I like the UK.
Okay, I need to see that
they're
one.
skillful and they already like the Traitors already got one traitor out.
So I didn't
And
know
they-
they had the UK.
Wow.
I was just looking at have you seen, that's the only other one you've seen?
Well, I keep the Australian one I try to watch and I keep falling asleep.
Okay, that's
So-
good. But I've watched that one.
The UK one, it's episode 3 and where they got one of the traitors out, where the faithfuls, they were just so clear that it was her. And as a traitor, they were like, well, we have to go with the crowd because otherwise we gonna look like traitors.
Right.
So
That's
they ended up
understandable.
getting one out. And I was like, wow.
Now, if
So-
Dan had done the same exact thing, then that could have been something different. But he was leading that pack
Yep.
whenever Phaedra he was like the leader of the pack.
And I liked how in the reunion when they were like, yeah, if Dan would have never dropped her name, we would have never known it was her.
Never would have
'Cause
thought
he-
twice.
yeah.
It looked at
I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I was like, yeah, Dan set that up and Dan ain't shit. And
He
if
knew.
Dan, if you watching this, fuck you.
Okay. Period.
And then I loved how they kept making fun of Poverty's face. I like that she could take a joke though, because they were really getting on her with
They
the
were.
headband and the facial expressions, and I was like, okay, she know how to roll with the punches. But I was mad that she decided to team up with Dan to do the dirty stuff against Phaedra.
But did she? Because she didn't team up. Because
She
she,
teamed
but
up.
She kind
But
of
she
said
won-
that little moment
But
at
she
that
also
round
tried
table
to.
where she was like, it
she
seems
also
like it may
did
be a
with Phaedra
housewife.
again. Remember, there was twice that she tried to vote Phaedra out
yeah, because she said something
because
like
Dan was gone one time.
something about the housewives.
Right. And then, because Dan was
Yeah.
gone once. But Phaedra, girl,
We all
you have
rooted
brought
for
a
you.
whole new set of people to Traitors. And a black person probably would not watch Traitors if it wasn't for you.
I mean-
you got the housewives. You got all these people watching Traitors. And thanks to you, Traitors franchise has probably gone up a little bit,
listen.
girl, and they should give you a motherfucking raise because we only watched it for you, Phaedra.
I was only here for
Hopefully,
Phaedra.
maybe they'll bring her back like they brought back Kate from last
Okay,
season.
honey, that would
That'll
be good.
nice.
Ooh, that would be lovely.
Yeah,
but I'd rather her come back as a motherfucking host. That way, they don't have to worry about it. And then, because everybody's gonna be thinking about her as a traitor now, so they're gonna try to get her out immediately.
Yeah.
But for her to come back as a host, she could do just like that guy did and fucking throw those pictures down or do her own little way.
Yeah.
And use her casket so she can have people at a motherfucking funeral home. And then she can put the motherfucking picture in the you know what I'm saying?
I love that, yeah.
So I'm thinking that Phaedra could do something like maybe host. It would be
She could
good.
host the next reunion. That would be fun. That would be fun. I mean, who did the reunion? Who was the host?
Andy Cohen.
Why? Because he's not a part
Because
of it.
remember, he had a lot of girls from the housewives.
Bravo.
Oh, okay.
And then they had all this stuff that had been done with Bravo. You know what I'm
Oh, yeah,
saying?
that's true.
Because the Shaw's
I'm like-
of Sunset, they had
Below Deck with Kate.
right.
Real Housewives of everyone. Oh, I loved it.
What did y'all think about the Peter Pals?
I hated him. I hated him. I hated
love
him.
Bergilicious though.
I like Bergie, but I felt like Bergie just was trying to find an alliance to draw into. So if y'all don't know Bergie from Love Island, I watched Love Island.
Me
so I
too.
remember that he was just so nerdy and so awkward. And I was like, oh, I feel so sorry for this guy because no one's really going to pick him. No one really wants to lay with him and be with him. Then he ended up getting a girl. And I was like, oh, okay. And they still together.
The one girl wanted him. Remember the curvier one?
Yeah.
She wanted him back. She was like, let's. Are you interested? Because
Part of me with her was like, she just wanted to stay on the show.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think she just wanted to stay on the show. But I think the
Well, let's
little
stay
black
on.
girl that he's with.
Okay, well, I don't know
I think-
anything about this. And neither does our audience, and so we have
we
taken,
were wrapping
we've
it
taken
up
a
anyway.
huge segue.
No, it's a segue to say that Bergie is not the type of person who's going to be like leading in charge. He's going to be a follower, and he's going to find his team who's going to help usher him through the rest of the season,
Like, what,
which is what he did.
What did you think about the British Prime Minister?
I loved him, even though
When Phaedra told him off.
right.
Okay.
That was my favorite part. She was like, "This is not Parliament. Please get to the point."
Okay. But Phaedra made that fucking show. And then she had the motherfucking fashions. I'm like, girl.
Better than what's his
And
name?
Phaedra,
Alan Cummings.
she did not have a fucking makeup artist there, did she?
No, but that hair, and I don't care what was the guy who said she had an eye twitch? What's his little?
Oh, the Asian guy.
Okay.
What was his name? I don't know, but she was
Exactly.
like, I was like, it's just them lashes heavy.
Okay. I've been noticing that your right eye kind of, it twitches when you get nervous. I'm like thinking, girl, I didn't even see that.
I didn't, but them lashes be
Yeah.
all the way down here, so I was like, I
know,
can't
I'm like,
tell.
they probably stuck.
I have
They're probably
never
stuck together.
heard that before.
I was like, Phaedra is. So ultimately, what we're saying is we enjoyed
Yeah,
Traitors,
you
we
gotta check
And
it
you
out.
enjoyed
should
the
watch
reunion,
it. Yes.
and we think the world of Phaedra, and Dan could go kick rocks.
Did you see Postmortem? Did you watch Postmortem?
Yeah.
I
was
haven't
watching
finished
Postmortem.
all of them.
Okay.
I like that they added that to the show because it was pretty cool.
Oh,
to
I
see
did
them
like that.
afterwards, like talking about, okay, this was my thought behind it, and this was what I was trying to do, and it was
Yeah.
cute. I like that they added that because they didn't have that the first season.
No, they didn't.
So I did not watch the first season. I just watched the second season first.
Oh, okay.
and
And then you went
then
back?
I started, yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. That Phaedra bought a whole new set of people
Yep.
who never watched it. And so then I'll even start watching the, I haven't seen the UK version yet. So is it
It's
brand new?
good. It's this is season 2 because I watched the season 1 and now I'm
And that
on
was cute.
season 2.
Yeah, because I think it's good. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
a great thing not to have to think about anything like as bad. You still get to see. And I never watch challenge reality TV. Mm-hmm. But this is
competition shows you never watch.
no.
And
I
that
watch
is
them all the
like
time.
my thing. Yes,
too.
I'm like obsessed with competition shows. I be like,
Give me some music and some titties and some ass shaking girl.
I mean,
I
RuPaul's
can-
Drag Race is
I watch that.
competition
I know, but that's a different type of competition.
because baby, I'm watching this new
Because
season, but no
I-
segues.
I think the physical you're watching it too?
This new season, but no segues.
Okay, correct. We'll do it later. Bro, I'm good. Cheers.